All right, so here's another little series we're going to start here. So for years I've been battling different dizzy problems. A couple years ago it was just really bad dizzy spells, and they come and go, and it slowly led into more of not really spells, but more of a constant feeling about being drunk a little bit, like woozy. And I noticed, back then I was heavy again, and I thought, well, maybe if I, lose the weight again and get cardio shape, it'll help. Well, it did help some, but like I said, now it's just more woozy feeling, and then it got into, you know, pressure behind my left eye or seeing a little hazy in my left eye. I've always had, for a long time, not always, but a lot of tightness in the back of my neck on the left side, and like tingling, radiating down into my shoulder and down to my lower back. I've been told for years, of course, to stretch it and give massages and this, that, and the other, and never really listened to any of that stuff, But just what do you stretch for? And then so it's just got more and more, and it kind of really started bugging me to, like, what is it? Well, I'm not. Everybody's like, well, go to the doctor, go do this, go do that. Well, you know, that's really not an option right now. Um, you know, don't have the money and don't have insurance. So I decided yesterday actually to kind of go after it more. Well, actually, leading back a little bit was I'm at day 21 now. Is I started finally listening to people about the stretching. It kind of hit me finally. Listening to Goggins' book and different people. If people like them stretch for hours of a day and they say it really helps, well, they're pretty badass. So then there must be something to it. And originally I started off, I've never been able to touch my toes, so that's what the goal was, to touch my toes. Well, that led into finding other stretches that I enjoy more that make me feel better, and I started feeling a little bit better from the stretching. Well, then it led into start stretching my neck more, and I noticed how tight my neck was. Years ago I was training a chiropractor, and he mentioned about, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I've never been able to turn my head very far to the side. That's about it. And he had asked me, does that cause problems? And I, at the time, was no. Well, now it seems to be. So I started looking into, just certain stretches of the neck. And so that's, make that 15, 20 minutes a day at least. And I noticed a lot of this stuff helps when I do my bike rides, because I guess, constantly looking and stimulation of the eyes. And that leads me, could it be inner ear or in the labyrinth or a vertigo, or who knows, because I can't do bridges. So anyway, finally, long story short, is I decided, I'm going to kind of go after this thing. I preach a lot, basically all functionality in my training and mobility. And I can see my mobility starting to be hindered by this. So yesterday, actually not yesterday, but I started doing a lot of stuff on the Bosu ball to help my balance again. And then yesterday it kind of occurred to me, hey, why don't you try to, cover your good eye, because I have no issues with my right eye, and my vision's fine. I got 20/20 at least, but it's just the other stuff. So I decided, let's try covering your eye at least during training. So what I had done then was I just tied this as a band-aid, around my head, and basically had it covering my eye for the training session. And I noticed that I felt decent afterwards. A few things I learned from that already was, when you get that unsure feeling, that dizzy feeling, of course, anxiety comes up and you've got to relax. So it forces you to, when shit gets bad, to relax and just keep moving. Because if you stop, a lot of times you'll just fall that dizziness down. And this is just my idea of how to think. So this looked kind of dumb. So what I decided last night is I have an old pair of sunglasses that my dad bought me back years ago for riding motorcycles. So what I did is, on the right eye, is I put tape behind the lens. And so I decided, I could train in these, but also around the house to work on it more. Is that since these are riding glasses, the lenses pop out, so that I could, if around the house or whatever, this, you kind of You know, it looks dumb or kind of like Terminator-like stuff, but I've noticed that, that, and also mixing it with vestibular exercises that you read about, twisting your head and up and down and stuff. With this, it really makes this eye, that's the one I have the trouble with, kind of, in my mind, train it to get to where it can work in tandem with this eye. I did this morning in my training session, and it was crazy. I don't really understand why, but I did 2 little jogs, not very long, but I noticed that I even felt more balanced in my jog. And talking to Mr. Robert, a lot, he's dealing with a lot of stuff in his eyes as well, and there's stuff they're doing with his, and he told me that it's crazy how sometimes your eyes don't work together, that they do independent of each other. So I know this eye pretty much does what it's supposed to do all the time. So my theory behind this is that force this eye to do what it's supposed to do. And then hopefully, in a little bit of time, they'll get back together and work on the same team. Whether or not that works or not, it can't hurt. This morning, like I said, I wore these the entire time, and it looks like I'm trying to be some Billy badass, wearing sunglasses when I work out. But if I didn't put this lens in, working out like this, I don't know, makes me look like a retard maybe. But so I was doing this and also doing this on the Bosu ball, and it really notices things. And I noticed also that when I'm doing this stuff, to do the neck stretches and different things during to make my morning workout more of a workout, but a flow drill and mobility and functionality, and also stretching in the neck. And I noticed after this session this morning that, so it's this my second session doing this, is in the first hour afterwards noticeable improvement. We'll just see how it goes, but so far I like this idea, and this is just something I'm gonna try for myself. I've been able to have great results with the Parkinson's mobility and with Grace and different things by challenging the system and challenging your body and find what works. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated, and just try it and see if it works. If it doesn't, try something else. But kind of on a thing where you start worrying about stuff is, losing mobility is a scary thing, and that's why I preach that so much in my training. So that's about it, and I'll be posting more about this as it goes.